You were never neglected, never hungry, never without a roof over your head. So why does it still hurt? Why, even now, do you carry this quiet ache, this feeling that something was missing, but you can never quite name it without feeling guilty? Because your parents loved you, you know they did, and yet you grew up feeling invisible. Think about this. You come home from school, something is wrong. Maybe you failed a test, maybe a friend said something cruel, maybe you just felt sad for no reason you could explain. And your parent looked at you and said, "You're fine, go do your homework." Not because they were cruel, but because they didn't know how to look deeper. So you learned something that day. You learned to tuck it away, to wear the face that made things easier, to become the version of yourself that required the least explanation. And you got very, very good at it. Here's what was actually happening, not in complicated terms, just the truth of it. There's a difference between being loved and being known. Love can be given through food, through shelter, through sacrifice. Your parents may have worked themselves to exhaustion for you, and that was real. That was love. But being known, truly known, requires someone to be curious about your inner world, to ask not just how is school, but to actually want the real answer, to sit with your silence and say, I see something is going on. I'm here. If that never happened, you didn't just miss out on a feeling. You missed out on learning that your inner world mattered, that your emotions were worth exploring, that you, the real you, not the good version, not the easy version, were worth knowing. And here's where it gets quieter, more personal. Because children don't think, my parent is emotionally unavailable. Children think, something must be wrong with me. Children think, I need to be more, do more, feel less. So maybe you became the high achiever, the one who made everything look effortless, because achievement got their attention even when honesty couldn't. Or maybe you became the peacekeeper, the one who read every room, managed every emotion, made sure no one was ever uncomfortable, especially not because of you. Or maybe you just became quiet, not shy, quiet. There's a difference. Quiet in the way of someone who stopped expecting to be asked. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, which one were you? The subtle cruelty of this kind of childhood is that it doesn't look like trauma from the outside. There are no obvious villains. Your parents were probably doing their absolute best. Many of them were never seen by their own parents either. They gave what they had. They loved in the language they were taught. But you grew up in a home where love was present and attunement was absent. And attunement, that feeling of being emotionally met, of someone tracking your feelings in real time and reflecting them back to you, that is not a luxury. That is a developmental need. When it's missing, you don't just feel lonely in childhood. You grow up not trusting your own feelings. You second-guess your sadness. You apologize for your needs. You fall in love with people who are also a little unavailable because at some unconscious level, that distance feels like home. Let that land. Here's the realization moment, the one most people never reach. You are not broken because no one truly saw you. You are someone who learned to survive in the absence of being seen. And not survival took enormous intelligence, enormous sensitivity. You developed radar for other people's emotions because you had to. You became perceptive, deep, fiercely self-reliant. Those are not small things, but you don't have to keep surviving. The work now, the quiet, courageous work, is learning to see yourself, to become the parent to your own inner world that you needed back then, to stop dismissing your feelings before anyone else gets the chance to let someone in, even when every instinct says it's safer to stay hidden. You were never too much. You were never the problem. You were simply someone who needed to be asked, and no one knew how. If this reached something in you, something you've never quite had words for before, hold on to that feeling. That feeling is not weakness. That is you, finally, being seen, even if only by yourself. And that is exactly where it starts.